Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of ZB's Horsepower Talk. As always, I'm ZB, Zach Brown, and joined with me, as always, is former 410 Sprint Car crew chief and mechanic, my dad, Jeff Brown. We are at the final cutoff race before the Final Four is decided at Phoenix, and a lot to go over in NASCAR with all three series. A couple upsets that happened this weekend. And drag racing's back. They've got two races left. They are at Vegas, so a lot to preview, a lot of stuff coming down to the wire in the championship between both events. NASCAR, let's start off with the big series. Tyler Reddick on a last lap pass. Passes Ryan Blaney on the outside, rides the wall, clinches his spot in the championship four at Phoenix. Ryan Blaney had it won. All he had to do was go on the outside and block him. Didn't make it happen. Car might not have handled outside. I don't know. And what an incredible race. We knew it was going to be a better race than Las Vegas brought. Homestead always brings really good racing. It was back and forth. Nobody actually dominated the race like we predicted. And there was a lot of lead changes and a lot of crap happened at the end. And what an exciting fashion that race was.
Yeah, it just goes to show you tracks with wore-out surfaces. You know, when the tires wear out and they gradually got to keep moving up to the wall, it just makes better racing. You know, if you save your tires, you can run a little bit lower and make passes, so it's not follow the leader by any means. But you know, Tyler Reddick was probably the best car all day, and then kind of got back in traffic a little bit, and then came through. And I thought, Ryan Blaney's got this one. I thought he knows Tyler Reddick was going to run the outside. I cannot believe he dropped down. Not one lane. He dropped down about two lanes, right into the middle. I don't know if he thought somebody was really going to try to go under him or not, but when he did that, I was like, oh, it's over. If Reddick don't hit the wall coming off the corner, he's got it. I mean, he cleared him. I wasn't even close.
Yeah, and we did not have Reddick in our championship fours. I didn't think he was going to be able to get it done. I thought a couple other Toyotas would be better than him at the end. I'll be honest, Larson, if he was just one lap a little bit more patient, he probably could have won that race. But one of his downsides was also one of his upsides, is that he is a very aggressive driver. He tried to thread the needle, the car didn't stick, lost it, and it was all she wrote. Then had a bad stop, and that was it. Now he's on the outside looking in, going into Martinsville. But I mean, again, hats off to Tyler Reddick making it happen. And Michael Jordan was a little bit excited at the post-race interview too, so that was cool to see at least. And I got nothing against Tyler Reddick. I'm just not a fan of one and half of his owners. So yeah, but great job by them. We figured a Toyota was probably going to win. Didn't think it was going to be Reddick. Thought it was going. Well, I thought it was going to be Bell. But he had a solid race too, and he's looking good also going into Martinsville. Let's talk about Xfinity and trucks. You saw them more than I did. I didn't see any of them. I was working on both of them. So let's talk about the Xfinity race real quick. Austin Hill, who you picked, takes a win and clinches a spot in the championship four with the Xfinity. I didn't really see any of the highlights with Xfinity. If you want to talk about it a little bit, besides you being right.
I just kind of caught it at the end, and it came out. And if I remember correctly, it was kind of his car was good, but I think there was pit stops that kind of cycled him to the lead, and he was able to hold on to it. And actually, another really good run, which was surprising, is from AJ Allmendinger. Had a very good finish in this one, and especially after already being locked in, didn't really, maybe focus on this race, but he also had nothing to lose, so he had a good run.
Well,
like I said, I only caught part of it. I was out working on my truck.
Talk about AJ Allmendinger. He had a great finish of the Cup race. He got 8th.
He did, yeah, he
and
did.
We were saying
he's had a good weekend.
And another big shout out in the Cup Series before we talk about the trucks, but Carson Hocevar finished another top 10. So look at him to potentially be pretty decent next year. He's had a lot of decent finishes, and it's been impressive.
Spire Motorsports in general has been
they're not bad.
Pretty good here lately.
Yeah, and I think Hocevar's a pretty good racer too.
Yeah, and I think they are in alliance with Richard Childress. And
yeah, they are.
It's funny, their cars are probably faster than Childress's cars.
Seems that way. But Austin Hill beats Cole Custer, and Cole Custer needs to still clinch a spot in it. Now, he probably will. He's a pretty good racer to be left out of the championship four. But Jesse Love, he finished fourth. He's going to have to win. There's a lot of must-win scenarios for Xfinity, a couple must-win scenarios for the Cup Series as well. Touch on trucks, and then we'll get into previewing Martinsville. The Truck Series, another guy clinches a playoff berth, clinches a championship berth, Grant Enfinger. He's been on a roll lately. Or did he already clinch before? And he was already.
I don't know.
He might
Was
have
he already clinched?
He might have already been clinched, and he won 2 in a row. I think that's what it was. Tom Majeski, who needed to get a win to clinch, but he's still decent on points right now. He finishes second. There's a lot of scenarios that need to happen here at Martinsville. So let's preview the paperclip. Getting into it right now with the 3 series heading there. We'll start with the smallest series, smallest of the 3, the Truck Series. Here's the playoff standings right now: Grant Enfinger, Corey Heim, Christian Eckes, and Ty Majeski. Corey Heim is likely going to be locked in. He's 49 points ahead, so he'll be safe. Christian Eckes is 38 points ahead. He's likely safe. And it comes down to, can one of these outside looking in win? Is Raja Caruth, Taylor Gray, Tyler Ankrum, and Nicholas Sanchez. Taylor Gray, by the way, didn't even realize he made it to the final 8. So have a shot at this potential. Martinsville can bring a lot of interesting scenarios that play out. We've seen it. Ross Chastain in the Cup Series a couple years ago. You won't see anything like that because they made that illegal now. But
Yeah.
And Xfinity.
And the trucks run Friday night under the lights.
Yeah, I wish it was more night races at Martinsville. I'd like Martinsville.
Yeah, they put the race, they put the lights in and then never did it.
Just the Truck Series to do it, and like some late model races. The playoff standings for the Xfinity: Austin Hill, AJ Allmendinger are clinched in. Comes down to Justin Allgaier's probably safe, 35 points ahead. But now you got Cole Custer on. But can he beat Cole Custer? Because Cole Custer, if somebody wins and he loses spots to Cole Custer, then he's out. All these drivers are going to be in a must-win now. Chandler Smith, Jesse Love, Sam Mayer, and Sammy Smith. Don't count any of them out because, again, it's Martinsville. We don't really know what to expect. It's all about where you qualify.
Everybody that has to win is going to be bringing their A game this week for sure.
It's all about where you qualify and how you can strategize and get into a position to win. The Cup Series, this is where it's really, really interesting. And Larson kind of, between him and his team, they were at just a downslide the entire race. And they finally got to a position to win, and he kind of pissed it away, for lack of better terms.
Yeah.
He's 7 points
people
behind.
were shitting on Austin Dillon, and Austin Dillon did nothing wrong. He held his line.
No, I mean
Larson caught him at a bad spot, and then he should have backed off or tried.
Where do you want him to go? I mean, where do you want Austin Dillon to go? I mean, if he went low,
he held his line. He didn't cut nobody off. It just
Larson could have just followed in behind Blaney, let it go for another lap, and just been a little more patient. It wasn't like that.
He was faster than Blaney.
He was. He just had to. In the long run, he did, and all he had to do was just be slightly more patient, and he'd have been fine.
Yeah,
that's
ironically, that caution's what actually helped Tyler Reddick win the race.
Yeah, I mean, it was going to come down to Larson or Blaney winning it, unless there was another caution. That's really what it was going. Denny had a shot; he was running them down, but now you got Reddick and Logano that are guaranteed a spot in, and likely it's going to be Christopher Bell in too, unless he has a catastrophic
most
day.
likely.
Unless he has a catastrophic day, he's probably not even going to lose points to William Byron. He's 22 points ahead of William Byron. Again, unless he has the car just doesn't go. Then you've got Byron, who's 7 points ahead of Larson. Well, that's a nice conundrum that Hendrick's got now. And then you've got Denny Hamlin, one of his best tracks. He's 18 points behind. He not necessarily must win for him, but must win for Ryan Blaney and must win for Chase Elliott.
I think anybody other than Christopher Bell, it's a must win.
At least in your mindset,
unless a repeat or a countdown driver wins.
The problem is the Hendricks are probably going to be very similar in speed and very close to each other.
Yeah. Like you said, I think it's going to come down to qualifying, which means a good pit selection, which is actually very important at Martinsville because the pits are real tight.
Mm-hmm.
So
if you get that first pit
clear
stall,
of an entry in and out as you can get, so that can make a huge difference.
If you can get that very last pit stall heading out onto the track, that's going to be the one to do. So that qualifying is going to be ideal, and that's actually going to be interesting to watch this week. Yeah, I didn't really expect Larson to struggle so much at Homestead between the crew, and he was screwing up. Just it kind of sucked. But what are you gonna do? It's racing. That's how racing is.
Especially after qualifying second, I thought, okay, here we go.
Yeah,
and just did not have a good day. I mean, it happens.
Yeah, I mean, and then that's just a little frustrated. Get frustrated with that stuff. Let's give our power rankings, and I've completely changed it up now, mainly because I'm pissed off.
I didn't completely change mine, but it's different.
All right, well, number 5, he's dropping down from number 2. Kyle Larson's at number 5 for me. You pissed me off. You let me down. I didn't even pick you, and you let me down. Number 4, as of right now, he's in the final 4, and the 4 top ones are the ones that are locked in as of now. I've got William Byron at number 4. Number 3, I've got Joey Logano. He's locked in. I'm keeping him in my top 5 power rankings. Number 2, I've got the winner of last week, Tyler Reddick. And Christopher Bell still stays at number 1. He's still been very consistent, very fast, and he'll have probably a solid run at Martinsville.
Yeah. So we're similar. So at number 5, I didn't have him in last week, so I have Tyler Reddick in. I put him in. I put him at 5 because I don't see him having to go for a win on this one. I think he's just going to probably go for a good finish. At number 4, I got Joey Logano, sort of the same reason. You could almost flip flop those two. I moved Larson down to number 3. I think, being that he's in a must win, I do think we'll see him run good this weekend. I mean, Hendrick cars all run good. Up to number 2 was Denny Hamlin, which he was fast there at the end. They just had some pit strategy where he was basically a lap behind and came within 6 seconds of, win that race, and he was out of tires by then. And number 1, I kept him the same as last week. I got Christopher Bell. He's just, as of this week, you almost got to think he's championship favorite. He's just so consistent. Cars fast every week.
This damn year, and I'm not going to give a championship pick, but it feels like this is another Joey Logano championship season. It just feels
it seems that way.
It's just like, where the hell did he come from? And he's just kind of getting by in the playoffs. He clinched his spot in the Final Four. Didn't really hear him last week. Probably won't hear him too much this week. And then all of a sudden, he's going to be in contention to win at Phoenix. And Phoenix is a really good track for him.
Yeah,
but
sure.
we'll preview that next week. It's getting down to the wire. All right, so Martinsville, the little paperclip. It's going to be probably similar weather the way we've had the weather's been in this area as the spring. It was chilly in the spring. It's going to be a little bit chilly here, probably about 50, 60 degrees. The sun should be shining on the track, so I think it'll be very similar racing that you saw in the spring. The difference between the spring and now, it's an extra 100 laps. So that could play a big part in the Martinsville race on brakes. And even though on transmission, that's not a big deal anymore because usually, let's say, they downshift.
Not in the Cup, but brakes on Xfinity and the trucks for sure. They still run in the 15-inch tires, so you got a lot smaller brakes than in the Cup cars.
Yeah, so I think you'll see very similar racing. You'll see, but you'll see a lot more Hail Marys sent out because it comes down to this. You've got to do something. It all comes down to this, and we'll. Let's get into it. Let's preview. Let's give our picks for Martinsville, our fantasy picks. So our fantasy lineups, I finished second last week. Mom destroyed both of us. I don't know how.
Oh, yeah, I was horrible last week.
Yeah, so let's. I'm going to pull mine up real quick. So it's on the screen right now. And let me get this right. I gotta pull up yours too. So in my lineup, I do have Kyle Larson. I was going to save him for Phoenix, but I don't know if he'll make it to Phoenix. So this is what this is what I've got to go with. And I have Denny Hamlin, Ryan Blaney, William Byron, Chase Elliott, and Joey Logano is in my garage. Joey is pretty good at Martinsville, so threw him in there. And for the lineups this week, they have Christopher Bell versus Denny Hamlin. I have Denny Hamlin over Christopher Bell. Larson versus Byron. I'm giving the edge to Larson on this one over Byron. Ryan Blaney versus Chase Elliott. I do have Chase on this one. And Martin Truex Jr. versus Chase Briscoe. I have Truex. He's got to get something. His last race in Martinsville, you would think he'd do all right. A hot pick this week. It's easy to pick the guy who won this race last year to clinch himself into the championship, Ryan Blaney. Joey Logano's also a hot pick. Again, he's got nothing to lose in this one. Why not try to go for a win at a track that's really good for him? It says avoid Tyler Reddick. That's traditionally not good for him. He's locked in, so it is what it is for him now. Daniel Suarez, it says to avoid. I agree. I get it. And Chase Briscoe is a sleeper. That's probably why they put him in the matchups. He does run pretty decent at Martinsville. So go ahead with your fantasy lineups. I'm going to get it pulled up on the screen now.
All right. We're very similar. So in my lineup, I have Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin, William Byron, Ryan Blaney, and in the garage, I have Christopher Bell. So, yeah.
Yep.
No smacks this week.
Yeah. I got to go all out coming to the end.
So I have Denny Hamlin over Christopher Bell, Kyle Larson over William Byron, Chase Elliott over Ryan Blaney, and I have Chase Briscoe over Martin Truex Jr. I just think Martin's just trying to get through the year now. I think he's done.
It sure seems that way at this point. I kind of feel bad for the guy with all of this. But all right, so there's our lineups. We've talked about it. And let's give our picks. So all three series are here. Again, we mentioned trucks on Friday night, and the other two in the afternoon this weekend on Saturday and Sunday with Xfinity and Cup. Go ahead with your truck pick.
All right, so the trucks, it's probably not a must-win for him, but I think he's going to get it. So I got Christian Eckes winning the trucks, getting himself locked in for this week.
I have a must-win driver, and I'm kind of throwing a Hail Mary here. It's not a bad track for him. He's decent at it. He's all right at it. I've got Raja Carruth winning this one and clinching his spot.
It's a Hendrick-affiliated car. Hendrick's just got something for this track, so
it wouldn't surprise me. It is a must-win.
Not even a little bit. The 24 winning at Martinsville is not an unusual combination.
Well, he's not number 24. He's like number 70-something.
I thought he was 24.
No,
never mind then. Point withdrawn.
And Xfinity, who's your pick?
So I'm sticking with the Hendricks on this one, Hendrick affiliated. So I got Justin Allgaier.
It seems like I am too. So I have a must-win on this one. Justin Allgaier's teammate. I have Sam Mayer winning at Martinsville.
Okay.
And the Cup Series, who is your pick to lock themselves into the Final Four?
The Mom and I both agree with this one. So not my favorite pick. Maybe we'll jinx him. I got Denny Hamlin.
I had Denny originally, but there's something that was speaking to me, kind of maybe an upset this weekend. Maybe all three series has an upset. This is a must-win as well. So all three of my picks are must-win. So must-win for the Cup Series. I am picking Chase Elliott to win at Martinsville. All Hendrick affiliated.
That's a must-win, but that's not really going out on a limb there, Zach.
Well, compared to me just going with the easy one of picking Larson or Denny, I think
I'm not going to jinx Larson, so.
Chase got a solid top 5 last week. He's got some momentum going into Martinsville. He's good at Martinsville.
He's been running good the last few weeks. The car's been good.
Yeah, don't count him out. All right, just finishing up, we've got NHRA action in Las Vegas. So give your take on Las Vegas, because drag racing is more of your specialty than mine.
So Las Vegas, it is a 4-lane track, but they run the 4 wide in the spring. So this one's going to be traditional 2 wide drag racing. So you don't have any of the confusion and anything that comes with the 4 wides. It's dry air. Depending on the temperature, it'd probably be fairly cool, especially on Friday evening qualifying. Out in the desert and that sun goes down, it cools off quick. So I think you're going to see some super fast speeds Friday night. As I said, don't really know what the temperature's going to be like Saturday or Sunday for eliminations, but it is what it is. It's the same for everybody. It's Bruton Smith facility, so it's top notch. Track's going to be good both lanes. I don't see any issues having one lane overly favored than the others.
Well, there's a clear favorite to win the championship in the funny cars and motorcycle, really. Pro Stock kind of slowly getting into a runaway with Dallas Glenn, and Top Fuel is kind of anybody's game. Justin Ashley does have the lead over Antrim, but anything can happen. If you're within 100 points, that can shift just like that. If you get knocked out round one.
Yeah, you lose round one, and you go on to get into the finals at least. You can really, it's 20 points per round.
Yeah.
So it adds up quick.
All right, so go ahead and let's go through our picks. All four, again, are here because it's the last 2 races of the year. So who puts themselves in position to possibly win this championship next week? Go ahead with your Pro Stock motorcycle.
So he might even wrap it up this week. So I got Gage Herrera on Pro Stock motorcycle.
Shocker, that's who I have to. That's who I have to. Go ahead with your Pro Stock.
So I think we're going to make this the Pro Stock a little tighter. So I got Ron Stanfield on this week. Catch him Dallas Glenn a little bit.
Yeah.
You too?
Yeah. Yeah, that's my pick too, of course it is.
Okay.
Oh, see what the funny car pick is now.
I think he locks it up this week.
Oh,
Austin
okay.
Prock.
I don't have Austin Prock. I'm going to make it a little bit interesting for Funny Car. So I've got Ron Capps in Funny Car this week.
All right.
And Top Fuel.
But this is the one where I kind of, and I don't want to say going out on a limb on this one because, he's championship racer. I got Doug Coletta. He won in the spring.
He needs to have some good he needs to have some good runs, but the top 7 are with 130 points of the lead, so that's pretty tight if you look at that for
the last race.
NHRA.
Last race is 1.5 points per round, so it's
you get within 70 or something for the final race at Pomona. Look out. I've got the guy that's in second place right now. He's been very, very good. He got eliminated first round last time. Kind of shocking, but I don't think it happens this time. I've got Antron Brown.
Antron's very good when they go out west of the Rockies. So, I mean, it's...
Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. Just the only thing to touch on for World of Outlaws is that Carson Macedo makes it 4 points closer than last week, so nothing really changed with getting a win because Gravel was right there on his heels. The championship comes down to Charlotte next week. 4 days, 4 races, and they're not all main events. There's like a qualifying day and then like 3 feature events, I believe.
Yeah.
But we'll preview the World Finals next week. But the 69K will be down here with Logan Wagner at the. So that easy drive for them though. It's like 7.5 hours for them to get down.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I
all
don't know if any other Pennsylvania cars will be down or not.
I bet I can bet Brent Marks is going to be down. I can bet Macri's going to be here. Danny Dietrich seems to come every year. He seems to enjoy the World Finals. So it's a great facility. It really is. We'll see who all comes down. But make sure if you guys like this, make sure you share, subscribe, like, follow, all that fun stuff. Follow anywhere you get social media platforms, and follow where I'll give you good picks for NASCAR. I've had some bad luck. I kind of avoided last week, but it's okay. I'll be back tomorrow. This week, Martinsville is where I won my the big bet, where I put like a whole $1 down and won like a couple hundred. So I went on the limb. So we'll see how it goes this week at Martinsville, and we'll see you guys next week for the World Finals.